Hi guys, I'm Naha, and I'm back. We're gonna play Ice Cream Shop Tycoon. Yeah, blah. I haven't made videos for the past 96 days, I think. I know. So this is one of the last videos I made, right before the whole thingy. And thank you, I guess. So you restart this. I actually forgot how to play this. I will admit. I can get worker. Okay, that is cool, I guess. Ice cream scoops. Oh yeah, I do want another ice cream flavor. Coffee. Oh. Oh. It's how much it costs. The bottom part is the one that tells you how much you can buy it for. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Um, how about we just work for now while I talk about this? So, since like October, I've been having these awful headaches, constant migraines, and percent kind of got tired of them and all. But I couldn't find out why I'm having them, and eventually I couldn't really. Oh, I need to go over there, right? Eventually, I couldn't look at like any kind of like bright lights, like my phone or the computer and stuff. So I stopped using the computer altogether, and I couldn't really find out how to use the brightness. It's like turn the brightness down. Yeah, I also didn't really work hard on it because if I did find out how to do it, it wouldn't help any like even a little. Because hey, guess what? Um, I'm too lazy to do anything if I have this awful headache, right? It's like the worst headache ever, and it's constant. Day it happened, it was like really the worst headache of my life. I thought it could not get worse than that. Plot twist, it did get worse because it's worse right now. And since I recently found out how to do it, like how to turn the brightness down and all, I can now use my computer again. And I don't usually have the energy to do this, so I decided I wasn't going to use my computer like altogether because like, what's the point? But right now I got bored. I really need to distract myself from my awful headache. So what did I do? I decided to record a video and tell you guys what's been happening, right? So yeah, that's why I've had this gigantic headache, and that's why I've had this hiatus. Um, so I've kind of had like an MRI. I went literally everywhere, every kind of doctor, neurologist, surgeon, etc., etc. It might be a depression or stress headache or something like that. That's the point. So yeah, I'm not going to push regularly, I guess, but I do not want to see the back of my head. I might just post once in a while. So new things in my life. Will you guys believe that I got my first negative what do you call it, grade in my entire life? Yeah. So I might have possibly um failed my aptitude doing sports. I think that's how you say it in English. I don't know. The point is, I won't say it's exactly a good thing, but yeah. So that's a fun thing that's been happening in my life. Second thing is that guess what I'm gonna do in September. So, remember I went to Pakistan, right? So my dad promised me like, hey, how about we'll go to Disneyland after this. So guess what? We're going to Disneyland. Yeah, in September, and I'm really excited for it. Let's get a plan. We got a plan. Yeah. Please a fake one because I cannot keep the real ones alive. I cannot. And um, I also got like the highest grade, like everything. The highest grade is 5. here, and guess what? I actually got 5 at everything because I was not expecting. Now this was during the first semester. So now I had the midterms. This is when I kind of got kind of failed, but the other two were passing grades, so I'm not going to fail at the end of the year, right? But what matters is, or at least what I was trying to yap about, is that right now I'm also getting like amazing grades at everything, you know. And you know what I did in maths class? So I was in the middle of my maths class, right? And when I went to Pakistan, I bought this like video game for my cousin, right? For, like $12, and it would cost way more here. Do like sip and everything. So it was actually really cheap for me. Right. So I bought it, right, and I took it to my math class because my teacher is literally blind and deaf and everything. So um now what obviously would happen due to that idea is that teacher would catch me playing it, right. And now what did I, the genius, do? This is what I was looking for. Looking for hiring a new worker. Okay, it's a Seth. Cool. Cool. So I got caught, and I just say so. Actually, there's a little story before this, and it was Wednesday, right? Um, and I had class, and I was using said game, and my teacher looks at me like, "You can't use it in the middle of the class, Binah." And I'm like, but I've already finished everything. And he's like, "Oh well, then come answer this on the board." Guess what? I answered on the board, and it was all right because I had already done that. So he lets me use it. Now, what happens is, I have to put the thing on right. All right. What happens is that he kind of like says, "Okay, fine, use it," and then the next day he catches me using it again, and so I look at him with this most like I'm totally kidding face ever. Like I wasn't even trying to hide it. It was the most I'm kidding face ever, and I said, "It's a calculator because it's kind of the size of a tiny calculator, not the width, but the height and the length." So I'm like, "It's a calculator," and guess what the teacher says? Okay. He said okay, and he leaves. Okay. He leaves me there. Do whatever I want. Even though he literally saw that yesterday. Now, I swear that was one of the most hilarious things I've done all year. I have done extremely hilarious things all year, just so you guys, just for you guys to know. Most of them in the class groups, I could I'm a hilarious person. But yeah. I'm more hilarious when I'm texting. So, my teacher just left me like that, and the entire class just looks at me like, that's a calculator. Because you know how I found out I was using something? Because he usually doesn't. Because my class has this habit of snitching on me because I'm supposed to be the model student. Like I'm not even a class president. You know who it is? My the guy beside me was doesn't do anything. I just still don't know how he actually didn't get like removed yet, but whatever. But I'm pretty sure I've talked about at least a few stories. So actually, I have this really big gossip about him, but since for my friend, I cannot say it because my friend is really embarrassed of everything. So yeah. Back to my point. Um, so they all look at me like that is not a calculator, and the teacher just doesn't care. He's like, "Qual FC cedula?" That's a very bad imitation of him. My classmate does a better one. So yeah. $94 for a ice cream? Okay, not gonna ask. It's inflation, guys, inflation. So, like, any normal person, I burst out laughing. And then my friend, who sits at the other side of the class, actually believes I was a calculator. And, yeah, that is things that happen. I mean, that has math class. Yeah, math class are not normal. I have to just shout at the top of my lungs, like, "Hey, teacher, please turn on the light of the board because I am blind." Um, So yeah. And to this day, I'm pretty sure it still thinks it's a calculator. Another thing that happened in my math class, a week later probably, I was reading A Girl's Guide to Murder, right? Actually, I'm pretty sure it was Google Babler, right? So I was reading it. Actually, on that note, I did get Netflix during the holidays, and it was The Soul. And I hated The Soul, but I loved the book, definitely. Also got into Percy Jackson, okay, and yeah, that's basically everything that needed to happen. Okay, now I had the Titan Curse ordered. I still haven't read it though. Okay, now back to where I was. Right, I was reading Google Bablet, and my teacher is like, "Put that book away." I'm like, "I already finished," and he's like, "Put that book away." Like 2 minutes later, and he already finished. Now he can't really focus on whatever I'm doing because my classmates are having a full-on fight. My classmate is dancing on the countertop because this was the lab class. Okay, we were in the lab section, so yeah. And as you can see in this very, very, very normal situation, um, he kept telling me to put it away. And I didn't. At one point, since it was a table with 2 chairs, and I was in the back of the class alone, I had the amazing idea of doing what you ask? Just like putting my feet on the other chair and sitting there like I'm in a cafe or something, right? The teacher just looks at and just leaves me alone because I'm not gonna like just put it back. And that's another thing that happened in my math class. My math classes are not normal, guys. We do the most random things ever. I think we. Oh right. I already told you guys the story, so there's no point telling it again. But oh my god, 300. God, that's inflation. Um. So why do you have to manually restock it? Um. Wait, now I have to think of a story because I know there's some other funny story. I just can't think of it. So I'm gonna tell you guys a story about my English class. So, cause my class is a mess. If I get run out of stories about one class, I run into another. Actually, I'm gonna tell you guys a Portuguese one first cause it's quicker. So my classmate was talking in class, which is really surprising. The same classmate was just a really good imitation of my math teacher. Okay. So would you believe that he is talking in class? Wow, I'm so surprised. So the teacher like stop talking, and he's like, "Am I the only one talking?" And teacher's like, "Yes," and he's like, "Am I talking alone?" And teacher's like, "Yeah, you're talking alone, talking to yourself." And we all start laughing. And a few minutes later, he's like, "Can you sleep in class?" Because the guys beside me was sleeping in class. Just for you guys to know, I changed spots. And before, in the start of the year, I was with these 2 guys behind me. One of them was, I'm still convinced he is a Nazi. And there was this other guy who I've known since 4th grade, and me and my best friend like sitting him with the guy that used to sit beside me, and his best friend, right? Accidentally participating, whatever. So we were. Oh, my sister just came. She's like thumbs up because she saw I'm recording a video. She's like the most. She doesn't watch my video, but she's like the most. Do your channel, Minaha. Do your channel. So we were well, yeah. So I stood there. Then I moved to behind my friend and the awful guy she's been with since the start of the year. It was very annoying. And when I say very annoying, I mean very annoying. He has like the most dirty mind I've ever seen. And so we sit there, and there were a lot of funny stories when we sit there. Now I changed again, and I'm now sitting with that Nazi guy because I've literally complained about him so much. She's like, why don't? Because my teacher's really annoying. We like to call her dinosaur and everything. I know. We have a lot of names for her. Another funny thing I did in class was this guy and this other guy from since 4th grade. Just my sister likes me with because his brother, is also in her class. I don't know what's going on, but whatever. Um, that guy and the guy who used to sit beside me just started yapping. Okay, the guy who used to sit beside me, let's call him F. No, let's call him Comic Hacker Wolverine because he's really short. And he's also a big Wolverine fan, so that's my reasoning for that. I'm getting really rich. I also saving up money for this last. Just I'm getting worse. Anyway, so two of them were going back and forth, and I like right. I have to play. The two of them were going back and forth, so I'm just like, they're like, talking, like saying things about my teacher, the worst things I can think of. So one of them says like, "Oh, our teacher was the one that rejected Hitler from our school." I'm like, no, the one Hitler's mother, right? I'm like, no, she's the one that rejected him from our school. And for some reason, I thought that was a really funny thing. That wasn't even that funny. When I'm in a group chat, I said had to do a project about Greta Thunberg all of a sudden in classroom and about Portuguese class. And I just say, at least it's not about Luis Camões, who's like this famous poet, or some other unemployed from century I don't know. And apparently, and that was really funny. I still quote that. Yeah. Back to my point. I was actually talking about my Portuguese class. So now I sit with that Nazi kid. That friend I told you I used to sit on like the back, on the other side of the class, believed it was actually a calculator. Who I've also known since fourth grade. Um, she sits in front of me, and beside her sits the F, no, comic actor Wolverine, right? So, um, so now the first together, and the Nazi kid beside me was sleeping, and the guy was the really good mimicry. My math teacher just goes, let's call him Adebayo because one time he said that in a Portuguese class, and we all really laughed at. So Adebayo said, can we sleep in class? And she's like, no, but no one's sleeping. He's like, yeah, someone's sleeping. She's like, I think you're just seeing things, the same way you're just hearing things because you're talking to people. And so I just point out a few minutes later, like, teacher, no, I tried to point it out right away, but the teacher didn't listen to me. So I point out, this guy's sleeping, right? And the teacher just like, the teacher then just gave up on it because he was not waking up. But after the teacher like said like, you must be hearing things, I'm like, I think you might be like schizophrenic. And he's like, yeah, I'm schizophrenic. Now I start a joke that Adebayo is schizophrenic. Yeah. Adebayo used to sit beside me in arts class. He once wrote his name without one of the letters. Like, his name has 6 letters. So we were supposed to write our name right. We were having this whole drawing our name thing and whatever. So he makes 5 spaces. And then he starts writing and he's like, something's wrong. And I'm like, you realize you wrote 5 spaces, right? And you have name is 6 letters. And since then, I call his name without that letter. So yeah, that's the story of my Portuguese class. Now let's go to my English class. So this is back when I used to sit behind my best friend. So they were throwing paper balls at us, right? Well, not exactly at us. They were throwing paper balls around the class. They do that a lot. One time they were selling paper stickers in the middle of math class, and nothing happened. They were actually buying them. I still don't know why. So I forgot to clean the tables. That makes sense. So like they're playing with paper balls, and comic actor Wolverine hits me with one. So I just go like, "Hey, can you like not hit me with a paper ball?" Well, more than that, I just hit it back on his face, and he hit me back. Well, no. Oh no, wait, that was some other day. Sorry. This time my best friend and him were throwing paper balls at each other, and one hits me by accident. He hits me one by accident, right? So I throw it back, and then he starts throwing. And like, well, no, it fell on my table, and I, like any good best friend, threw it right at his face, and it really hit right at his face. So he threw it back at me, then he threw it at his face, and then he throws it back at me, and that's when the English teacher decides to look at us, and guess who took the blame? He did, even though we were the one doing it. Does it matter? Um, Not really, because guess what? I still kept my reputation that I didn't do anything wrong, meaning I get away with literally everything, every single class, especially math classes. I get away with everything. So nice. And yeah, guys, that is the story of all of my classes. And that's what I have talked about this entire time. Speaking about ice cream, which I have not been doing, did you guys know that this morning, I made this milkshake. There's this milkshake I really like to make. It's basically chocolate brownie ice cream and milk and sugar. Occasionally, I put coffee, a little bit of it only, not to give taste for me to actually wake up. Um, so that's what I made this morning. Whenever I make it, like it's wake up and I think of making it, it's obviously summer, so I will declare it summer. And yeah, I picked this game to talk a lot. I did in fact talk a lot. So yeah, I think it's time to end the video, guys. Thanks for watching. Please like to start to more videos. Comment. um Random like subject so I can tell you guys another story about it in the next video, because I feel like I have not told you guys enough stories about my class when we are actually kind of hilarious sometimes. And I'll tell you guys another story about my math class in the next video. So yeah, thanks for watching. There's my videos. Comment a random subject and or your favorite subject, yeah. And see you first minutes. Bye. Okay, well, let's clean this. 486 as a tip cost. Bye. No, actually, bye.